Hey, good morning and welcome to Breakthrough Walls. I am Ken Walls and I'm your host. And I have a pretty daggone cool guest on today. Met this guy at Tamara Thompson's Broadcast Your Authority event out in San Diego a few months ago. And man, the more I learn about this guy, the more I'm digging what he does. So I want to welcome my buddy Tim Gillette to the show. Tim, welcome to the show.
Oh, hey, everybody! I know. When you work from home, you get to goof off some days. What can I say?
That's right.
I'm not goofing off. I'm still doing work while I'm waiting for him to introduce me.
Dude, I when I met you, I'm like, man, you remind me of somebody, and you just like looked at me, and I'm like. You were like, probably the guy whose birthday party I'm going to tonight. And I'm like, who's that? And you're like, Tom Petty. And I'm like, that's it. That's it. You're going to his birthday party? That blew me away, man.
Yeah, it was, and it turns out I ended up not making the party because of weather in Dallas. I had to reroute my flight real quick. But anyway, wow. It was great because I got an invite to that because of people I know in Los Angeles. Yeah. And I never met Tom in person. Only time I ever seen Tom in concert was he played in Philadelphia for the original. My wife's texting me a ton of things. I can't read it right now, honey. He played at part of Live Aid in 1985 in Philadelphia, which I was at because I lived in Philadelphia at the time. And that's the only time I've ever seen him in concert. I've watched tons of it online, but I've never, ever been to a Tom Petty concert. It's one of the weird ones that when he went around with his 40th anniversary, I was going to go to it. And I was like, I'll catch the next one. And that was his last, and he died.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
So, wow. When did he die?
He died 2016 or 17. It was the same week that the shooting in Las Vegas.
Oh my gosh!
It was a week later. I was actually in Vegas after that shooting happened. I was in Vegas and staying across the street, and I knew I had to go there. And I'm like, oh crap! And I'm all worried about that. And then I get this thing. Oh, Tom Petty's in the hospital. I'm like, what?
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah.
So you were going to a tribute birthday party?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I didn't even know that he died.
Yeah, he passed away a few years ago.
Wow.
It's sad that he was on a lot of painkillers and stuff as he was trying to just finish his tour out.
Yeah.
All right. And that's what did him in. You know what I mean? Same thing with Prince. I mean, same thing. I mean, the guy was just trying to do the work every day. So he was taking some sort of painkillers and it messes you up. You know what I mean? It's like, all these health coaches out there telling you stay healthy, that's why you try to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
wow. So let's talk about, I told you I started this show a couple years ago. And I literally created it for a couple of reasons. Number one, to give back. Number two, I'm selfish. I love hearing other people's stories. and number three, it's to help people have a breakthrough in life. We all hit those barriers in life that kind of hold us back, and some people get stuck there. And so I think that by hearing other people's stories, we learn and grow from that. So let's start with talking about where you were born and raised. You have some interesting stories. I've already heard some. So,
well, I was born in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Oh, really?
Yep. Scranton, Pennsylvania. I lived in the Pocono area until I was about 14. Lived in a town called South Canaan, Pennsylvania. And if you're over 40 years of age, you've heard of South Canaan, Pennsylvania. Actually, about 45 now. And that was the town that Patty Hearst came to hide in the 1970s. And the house that Patty Hearst hid in, my parents almost bought that one instead of ours in 1970.
Wow.
I lived out right down the street from where it was. It was a country road. It's less than a half a mile away. And, I'd been in that house a ton of times in my years of living there. So, I mean, I know the house, know where she hid out. And pretty much, when she was there, it was like no big deal to us, whatever.
Right.
I didn't care,
Who's Patty
but
Hearst?
that's the town I lived in. And I'm still one of my oldest and best friends. He has a blog and he does a whole thing on woodworking. He's known as the Woodworking Baker. Is one of my best friends as a kid. His name was Tim Schweinsberg, and he still lives there in that town. And I still talk to him and his sisters and his mother and stuff, and still connected to quite a few people from that town. So,
wow.
yeah.
So what isn't Scranton? Isn't that where The Office? Wasn't it?
That's where The Office is.
That's what I thought. It was in
It's
Scranton.
not recorded. It's like Friends. It's not recorded there. Okay.
Right.
And there is no real company. All right. That it's based on. All right.
Dunder Mifflin.
Yeah.
I bought their stock.
Did you?
No. So wow. So is that where you like went to school and high school and all that?
So I went to grade school at private schools up there. It's a church that I grew up in, and the school is actually still there. It was created about the year I was about 7th grade or 8th grade. It was the year the church created the school. Okay. In my first couple of years of school, I went to Western Wayne School District, which is part of the school district there. And then my parents put me in private school from 7th grade, or no, it was about 5th grade to about 7th grade. Okay. And well, 10th, I think it was almost when I moved to the southern Pennsylvania, but it was by a church. And then in 1980, my father accepted a job in southern Pennsylvania down near in Montgomery County, in a town called Lansdale, and we moved down there, and I ended up going to high school at Souderton High School, which is, I think, the guy Jamie Moyer, who for the Philadelphia Phillies won the World Series. He's the most famous person from my high school. Wow. All right, I'm down to number 7 most famous person from my high school now. I was up there for a while, but I got kicked down because people did some other stuff. That's where I went to high school, and the area it was, so most people know, is the area where like the courthouse where Bill Cosby was sentenced. That was the area we lived in. Oh, wow. And Norristown is some very famous people have come from the Norristown, southern Pennsylvania area. Mm-hmm. And you know what I mean? I didn't know any of them until after I got out of Pennsylvania, and now I know a ton of them. And it's weird that, we grew up within miles of one another, and we met each other in Hollywood or something. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. My wife's from Pennsylvania. She's from Erie.
Yeah.
I think that's the coldest place on planet Earth, I believe.
Well, Erie, Pennsylvania, there was a series that I watch all the time now. I watch the reruns on it. Was recorded in Erie, Pennsylvania last year. And it was called Undercover Billionaire. And love it. And I haven't been to Erie since the 90s. I want to go visit the barbecue place that was created out of that.
I know, man. I looked it up. We watched that. What an amazing show, man. I matter of fact, I did a live stream about it, and I was like, y'all got to go get this right now. Like, it was insane. So you moved on from there. Like you got out of high school. Did you go to college?
I did not go to college. You know what I mean? I tell people I was a high school pushout. I was a C&D student, and believe it or not, I was close to DNF. All right, it barely. I think the only time I ever made honor roll in my life was like my senior year. I want to say it was like the second quarter in a year. I made honor roll for the first time in my life because I only had 2 classes. It wasn't hard to pass 2 classes. And just, I was not I was not good at school, and because of that, I didn't go on to college. It would be, in the late 80s, I would go on to truck driving school. And then I would continue my own self-education later on in the late 90s and early 2000s as I learned, coaching and speaking techniques from, people, like Zig and stuff like that. But no, out of high school, first job I had out of high school was working for a plastics factory.
Dude, me too. That's crazy. No kidding.
Yep. I worked for a plastic factory, and I worked in their engineering department.
Wow. So wait, you went to back up a minute. You went to truck driving school, like to drive a semi truck?
I did in late in 1989. I went there, and I only drove truck 90 through 92, and then I got a head injury that ended up with epilepsy, and I can't drive a truck anymore.
Oh my gosh, man. So you don't, I mean, I'm not trying to stereotype you, but you don't look like I'm like, I would, that'd be the last thing I'd ever guess you to be as a truck driver.
I did it.
Don't
Actually, it was some of the most fun times of my life. The problem is at the time I had a young wife and I had a young daughter.
Yeah.
And the hardest thing was getting in a truck on Sunday, knowing I'd be gone for 7 days. And my daughter, who was less than 2 years old at the time, Daddy, don't go, Daddy, don't go. And that was the hardest thing for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, she loved me. I mean, she still to this day loves me. It's just, it was a hard thing for me. So,
yeah. So you went on from driving semi truck to what was the next step in your?
Over the years, I've worked for a lot of the industries and a lot of different things. Mostly I worked in the automotive industry.
Okay.
And that was always, as a child, that was my ambition. I wanted to work in cars. All right. And everything I did, I would step out of it and then come back to it. And, my first job was plastics. My second job was working for a coffee packaging company. The people who brought the machinery into America to make the brick pack coffee in the 1980s. If you remember Folgers brick pack coffee,
the
company that brought those machines or made those machines in Italy. I worked for their American branch for a year.
Wow.
And I got fired from that because I wasn't a fit.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm going to the cars, and I worked for what is the oldest Cadillac dealer in America. I worked for, and I worked for car dealers for a while. Then I had my own car businesses, and I've started car washes and auto body shops in Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Texas.
Good Lord, man. Now, were you selling cars or what were you?
In Pennsylvania, I actually had a part of my business in Pennsylvania did have cars for sale.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We had a small lot where we could put 4 cars on. I wasn't a big time car dealer, but I had 4 cars that I was always buying and selling. So if like I had extra cash, I would go to the auction, buy a car, do some work to it, and put it out in the lot and sell it, try to make a profit. Yeah.
Wow. So where did it end up? I mean, you stayed in the Pennsylvania area for a while.
I stayed in southern Pennsylvania. All right. I left in 87 and went to New England for a few years. And in 89, I moved back.
Okay.
And that's because my first wife was from southern Pennsylvania and she wanted to be around her family.
Gotcha.
And we stayed together from 1989 till we stayed there. In 1998, she left. And when she left, I'm like, screw this. I'm not staying in your hometown. I want to get out.
Yeah.
In 97, I started to study how to make my business better. And I got on a plane and I went to Las Vegas to a Western Car Wash Association because I was in the car and wash industry to kind of see what the industry was doing and see what I could learn, see who I could connect with, things like that.
Right.
And my car wash business was different than theirs because I was like a mobile detail guy and I wasn't like a tunnel car wash, but I still went and learned what was in my industry. And I came to when I went to Vegas, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to live out west. I want to live in the South. I mean, I don't want to live up north anymore. And within a year that happened, my wife left. All right. And I'm like, this ain't worth it to me. I'm not staying in this town. I was here because your family's here. If you and I ain't together, I'm out of here.
Right.
And I literally left. I walked away from my business. I basically sold everything I could to raise cash.
Yeah.
Packed my 1984 Cutlass. Or it wasn't Cutlass. It was a Delta 88 full of stuff. And I was going to, I accepted a job in Santa Rosa, California. And I stopped in Dallas, Texas to visit my youngest brother who lived here at the time. And I stayed here. I was like, I like Dallas. I ain't going anywhere. I mean, it's cool.
Wow.
And that's how I got to Dallas, Texas. That would be 1988. And or 1998, I've been here.
Yeah.
And now 20 some years I've been here in Dallas. My mom moved here last year from Pennsylvania, and now my mom's here. My youngest brother, who got me to move here, lives in like New Zealand. He left.
Oh my gosh. He's like, I'm out of this country.
Yeah.
Wow. So what year did you graduate high school?
1984.
84.
Yeah.
Okay. You got me by a couple of years, man.
That was the year I remember, because I actually posted it on my Facebook page, and my high school girlfriend commented on it because she remembers it. Was I said, I'm so old, I seen the original Footloose.
Right.
And it's funny because my ex-girlfriend, who's now married, you know what I mean? We're friends, but not really close, but still we keep in touch. And she's got a great family, great kids, great grandkids. And she commented on it and went, "Oh, I remember that night." And I'm like, "So do I." Like we went to see it at a drive-in theater, right?
Yeah, right.
And you had to have AM radio to listen to it.
Right.
And it's funny. I've not told this story, I don't think, on air ever. So Lisa, if you see this, I'm finally telling the story and making it live. But I told my mother just like 2 weeks ago, and I post that on my Facebook page, and sure enough, Lisa comments. The AM radio didn't work in my car. All right. And we parked next to Lisa's friend's car real close, so they can just turn their radio up. And I don't know what was going on in their car. All right. But because the radio was so loud, if any one of them wanted to talk, we'd hear it. And all of a sudden I hear Lisa's friend, and I don't even remember her friend's name at this time, but her friend goes, "No, Greg." I remember that because it was one of my close friends. Greg was on a double date with her. Anyway. But it was fun. I mean, I remember it because, I went to public high school, but the girl I was dating at the time, they went to private Christian school, which is kind of like what I went to as in school. Yeah. And like that no dancing thing was really closely related to them and me because I was in that field. And that it's to remember that movie really hit us because of the way we grew up. All right. So I did it. I seen it with Lisa, and like Lisa and I, we dated like after I got out of high school, and she moved on, I moved on. And it's funny with Facebook, we actually connected, I think maybe 10 years ago, we've been connected online and like, every now and then we chat, but yeah.
That's awesome. Dude, I grew up in the 80s too, man. I like, you can't, 1984. If somebody says 1984, that was my very first concert ever, and it was Rush, Exit Stage Left tour. I saw him at the Dayton UD Arena in Dayton, Ohio. And it was, I mean, I vaguely remember it because there was a lot of stuff happening at that concert. But like, I think the 80s are the best decade, man. I may be biased, but
I might be a little bit biased there myself, but I don't remember which was my first concert because I went to a lot of Christian rock concerts and rock concerts.
I remember Stryper.
Huh?
Stryper.
I remember Stryper. It's funny because I remember Van Halen. Van Halen came 1984, and they actually recorded the Panama video at the concert I was in. The audience shots. I was in the audience shots. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway. But the band that was unique to me was a Christian rock band called Petra. In 1983, I seen them in a gymnasium of a college in Pennsylvania. Yeah. That later in life, my daughter would go to that college, and later in life, the guy who was the lead singer of the band at the time and I became friends.
Wow,
that's impact, all right, and it's just unique to the world. You never know where life's going to take you. And it's just that's rock and roll concerts. So.
Dude, that's so awesome. Petra was awesome. Yeah. I loved Petra.
Yeah.
So matter of fact, Pam Aubrey's on here saying how much she loved Stryker and Petra. They were amazing, man.
Yeah.
They were amazing. So wow, we could go so many different.
So many directions. I know it's like that. You haven't even got to the way where I ended up. It's like,
I know. Well,
my story has got more twists and turns than a B-rated movie.
Well, so we're now we're in Dallas, circa 1998 ish, right?
Yeah.
And is it Stripe? It's Stryper, right? With
Stryper, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So you're in Dallas now, which I love Dallas. You and I were talking about. You were in What's that area you were shopping the other day somewhere in Dallas? Frisco.
Yeah. My
Beautiful
mom and I went up
area.
to Frisco the other day I went to one of my favorite. There's a restaurant that serves moonshine.
Oh, really?
Just saying.
Oh, I'm in Ohio, dude. You can go next door and get that.
Well, I
just
can get it places, but I love. I'm a foodie in a way. All right. I'm not really a great cook. Although I do my own ribs and my own sauces, but I love really good taste things. And moonshine, I've always loved the taste of it. And the best tasting moonshine actually comes from the Appalachian Mountains. It's just the water's better.
Yeah. Kentucky, West Virginia. I actually was at I used to be one of the largest DirecTV dealers in the country. And I went to, they had these events in Nashville at the Opryland Hotel, right? And you've been there, I'm sure.
Yep.
And so I'm at this party with the president of HBO and Showtime and all these CEOs and all, and this good old boy from Kentucky literally walks up wearing bib overalls and hands us, I'm standing there talking to the president of HBO and some other executive. He hands us a jar and he's like, try this, y'all. And I'm already pretty lit. And I go, okay, what is it? And he's like, it was raspberry moonshine.
Yeah.
I'd never even heard of raspberry moonshine. It went down. I mean, yeah, I don't remember that.
I don't. A lot of the flavors that people are selling commercially, I don't like, but I like the real old woods. The truth is I know I can tell you the ingredients in it that I love. All right, it's corn, barley, our malted barley, and rye. Those are the three combinations that I love in a great moonshine.
Wow.
That's how much I know what I like.
Dude,
but the flavors, I'm not into the strawberry and apple pie and all that stuff. I'll taste it, but I ain't drinking it.
I had some raspberry moonshine. It was good. That's all I got to say about that. But and you're the first guest in 200 interviews to bring up moonshine. So man, we're setting records. So I love it. So okay, so now you're in Dallas circa 1998, 98-ish, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what happens from there? You sold your business, the car wash detailing business, right?
Well, I sold the Pennsylvania one. I basically disbanded and sold off parts and stuff to raise cash and leave town.
Okay.
In Texas, I worked 98. I worked when I first got here, I worked for a home theater company for probably about 9 months, just delivering TVs. Very unique. That's how I got to meet some celebrities in town, some football players. I was in Darren Woodson's house from the Dallas Cowboys at the time, and I'm not a Cowboys fan. I'm in his house, and I'm looking around, and I go, man, you must be a big Cowboys fan. And he goes, I play for him? I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't matter to me, right? I'm not a Cowboys fan, right?
Right.
I hate Troy Aikman in a weird same way, you know. I'm not best friends with Troy Aikman. Everybody thinks I am, but I'm not. I washed his car a time or two. But I did that first. Then I went to work to manage a tractor trailer repair shop that was in Carrollton back in the late 90s. I worked there for about 2 years, and basically, was heavily drinking to the point that, like, my life, I didn't care whether I lived or died. Wow. And my boss says, "You hate this job," and I said, "Yep." And he said, he says, "You got to figure out something." And I said, "You know what? I'm just going to leave." Wow. And I left, and I helped another friend of mine start a home theater company, which is still running till this day, for about 90 days. I left working for him and started my own car wash company here in Dallas, but about 2001, 2002-ish. And I had it from 2002 to 2004. And August of 2004, a gentleman actually made me an offer to buy me out. And it was a mobile car wash. We had trucks. We had 5 trucks. We would go to office towers in the Addison area and wash your car while you're at work. Wow. And I had a company with almost 100 employees. 5 trucks. My equipment was just out through the roof if I told you my bills, but I made a lot of money doing it. I had a system down that worked, and I had to make a lot of money because I had a lot of bills to pay to keep it running.
Right.
And when this guy came up, I was so sick of the car industry at that time. Basically, he made the offer to me, and I said, sure. And I actually signed a 10-year do not compete. And like, I either had to leave Dallas to start another company, or I had to do something else to stay in Dallas. And the problem was is I liked Dallas.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I've got to find something else to do. And one of my customers I used to clean car for was Zig Ziglar. And I literally was sitting across the table from Zig, and I'm like, well, I'm out of the car wash business for 10 years. I don't know what I'm going to do. And Zig explained to me how I was a coach helping all these other car wash guys. He says, Tim, people get paid to do that. And he says, Tim, you should be a speaker. You have no problem getting up in front of people at church and just, whatever you're told to do, you get up and do it. And he says, it's like, I've never seen anyone so not afraid of public speaking.
Right.
All right. I just get up and do it. All right, Tim, go read this scripture. Okay. And I would get up and do it. Now, when I was younger, I had a problem with that. But as I got older, all right, Tim, I need you to do the announcements. Okay, no problem. I get up and did it. I didn't think about it. And Zig said, that's skills that people like struggle to get.
Yep.
And you figured it out. By all means, use it to your advantage. And me, I had personal belief items. I didn't believe in myself. Right. I didn't believe I belonged in anything other than washing cars. So I spent 5 years after Zig told me that. I went to work for Starbucks as a barista.
Wow.
So, and I was really professional looking. I had a haircut very similar to yours, Ken, when I started working at Starbucks.
Yeah. I'm losing my hair. I had a haircut very similar to yours in the 80s. Yeah. So
and if you go look, you can find there's a picture of me bald. Like I shaved my head. You got to look to find it, but it's on the web somewhere. Wow. I showed in my presentations when I speak, but I shaved my head once, but I was a clean cut looking guy. And at Starbucks, you didn't have to look clean cut.
Right.
I mean, you can kind of get away with things. So I'm like, I came with a scruffy face in, and I had always had a ponytail at Starbucks because you were serving food, but I grew it out. Yeah. And I remember in 2009, I ran into Zig and his wife Jean at an event, and I was talking to Zig, and I said, I'm going to go do that thing that you said, speak, and I'm going to get a haircut. I'm going to buy a suit and a tie, the known one. And Zig went, no. Probably the best advice he ever gave me. He says, Tim, and I always tell it this way, but basically he was telling me, Tim, you just got to be yourself on stage and find a way to work with this. This is a unique you that will work.
Yeah.
But basically Zig said to me in a nutshell is, Tim, you'd really suck at being Zig Ziglar, but you'd make a pretty good Tim Gillette.
Yeah.
And if you knew Zig, he always used to tell people, you'd be a number, the best you could be is a number one you. The best you can be, anybody else is a number two. All right. Wow. And that was me to learn to be authentic. So, I've been doing this 10 years now. I started in March of 2010. I left Starbucks and I said, okay, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to figure it out. I don't know what it's going to take. I had a real estate income coming in, so I could afford to do that. And I didn't have a lot of expenses at the time. So it was easy for me to build a business and not have to worry about things. And I went to figuring it out. And Zig wasn't there coaching people at the time. So like I had to work with people. One of my earliest coaches that I ever got advice from was a lady named Rhonda. I think Hess is her name. She's out of Colorado. Gave me great advice. We originally created the name Rocker Life Coach, and it was cool sounding. And I was on reading something on the social media site. I might've been Facebook or LinkedIn, but my buddy Brian, who I crashed on his couch when I first started working for Starbucks. And Brian actually put a post or something. Go read my article I wrote. And I clicked on it, and it was on this site called WordPress.com.
Yeah.
And I go there and I read the article, and at the bottom of it, it says, click here to join, create your own WordPress account. Kind of like there's a thing up here. We're on StreamYard, and there's a thing here. Click here to sign up for free to StreamYard. Yeah. So I clicked the button and went and did it. And this would have been about the late March of 2010. And I clicked it and tried to figure it out. And April 1st of 2010, I said, okay, I'm going to put up a blog post today. I don't know what it's about, but I'm going to do it. And I basically figured out something that was going on in my life. I think I cleaned my garage. And I wrote about, changing your world 30 minutes at a time, because it only took me 30 minutes to clean my garage. It wasn't that messy, apparently. But basically I just started writing about what motivated me.
Wow.
And where it started. And I went through 2 years of figuring that out. It would be January of 2000 and, well, no, it would be the end of 2011. I wrote a blog post series on songs that like motivated me.
Right.
And I picked this song out and I wrote about it. And it was a song that as a kid motivated me. It was from a band called Foreigner. It was called Jukebox Hero. And I wrote that blog post, Jukebox Hero, bought a picture of a jukebox to put up there and everything. And all I wrote on there was the story of the song and how it motivated me. The day before, 35 people came to read my blog when I posted. I was posting every day, 5 days a week, and I take weekends off.
Yeah.
And the day before, 35 people showed up. The day Jukebox Hero posted live, 7,700 people showed up to read it. I'm like,
oh my God.
I think maybe that's what they want to hear from me. So I started telling rock and roll themed stories. All right. And it was about that time that I met my mentor. Now, 8 years we've been working together in mentor-mentee relationship, and that is Craig Duswalt. And it's interesting because I led a love for rock and roll, and I was trying to figure out how to fit it into my business. Craig used to work for Guns N' Roses, and he ran an event called Rockstar Marketing Bootcamp.
Wow.
He basically learned how to tie his story in.
Yeah.
All right. And, well, my story is nowhere near rock and roll. It didn't fit, but that's what people heard from me. And I used like my first book, You Can't Always Get What You Want. My second book, which I don't have here, Taking Care of Business. My third, Not Gonna Take It Anymore. My first blogging program that we did was Rock Around Your Blog. Everything went song, and we call it the Rock and Roll Keys to Business Success.
Dude, that is so like, first off, I'm gonna stereotype you.
Yeah.
Sorry, but you do look like you belong in an 80s big hair band, dude.
It does. It's funny, but you know, I very much teach now though. It's things that I've worked throughout the years. Most of you guys are going, oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah. And I see people jump to try to do it because they think it's cool.
Yeah.
Again, I got to refer back to rule number 1. Don't be a Zig Ziglar, be you. Yeah. All right. I'm doing this because it's me. And I've learned about being me is a fluid brand. So many people are out there. They're going to I'm going to put this thing in cement.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to move this. And 8 years later, they're still broke. And their business isn't a business. It's a hobby.
Right.
Now, I am cool looking. All right. And I'm transitioning my brand. If you're watching go see my Facebook page. I'm doing a 60-day series. All right. About the transition into my new brand.
Yeah.
All right. And that's it. All right. Because I've actually found a whole new area of that really goes back into my whole story. And that is simple, easy marketing is what we're transitioning into now.
Yeah.
All right. I've gone through a lot of things. I've started at Rocker Life Coach. Cool brand, cool sounding. All right. Great thing. Wasn't making a lot of money. I went to Rock and Roll Keys to Business Success. There, all I was doing there was trying to copy other people. The things Zig Ziglar said, don't do.
Right.
Then I got into, Larry Broughton, another mentor of mine, Larry Broughton Hotels, had a conversation with me at an event in 2015. And he said, Tim, what are the 2 things that people ask you to speak about most? And I said, blogging and branding. He says, throw all the rest of your topics out and go to blogging and branding. And that was from when I did that. It was hard to leave some of the things that I've created. Again, I wanted to just be stuck in that box.
Yep.
But I left them and I moved forward with it, and it opened doors to where in 2018, we come up with this idea to do a conference again, but I wanted to do a conference that was unique to me, and that was blog and video. Now, I teach people blogging, but if some of you remember, some of you may remember me from Blab. All right. When Blab was out there, I found that to be an interesting thing, and I was able to incorporate it when Blab can be put on your blogs and all that stuff.
Yep.
And I got active in that. I built a following on Blab of like 1,800 to 2,000 people, like overnight.
Yeah.
Because of the way I get when I'm on camera. I just get on camera, be me. I'm not scripted at all, as you can tell.
Yeah.
We've gone all over the place. That was me. That's something that's me, but I still have an end focus in mind. So I'm able to focus on what I'm doing on every time. So when I got on Blab, it was easy for me to build a business on Blab and build a following. I'm also the guy on Blab who come up with the well, I didn't come up with it. I just took it for a ride. And that was the green check mark to become Blab official. To the point that Sean from Blab, from Bebo, called me up and goes, Tim, stop. Like, Sean, I'm not, I actually, if you follow my videos, they tell people all it is a green emoji next to your name.
Right.
He says, Tim, but I get 2,200 emails a day distracting from my business asking about this. And it is now costing me money. You understand business. Please stop. I'm like, okay, I will. You know what I mean? I'm a business guy. I will. I'm not going to harm somebody else's business.
Right.
But that was what I became known for. And I still have the videos someplace. And every now and then I run them as a, remember this? And it's just funny.
I remember Blab, dude. It was short-lived, but it was a great platform.
The idea that we're able to do this now, and I think you've got this broadcast out on several different platforms.
Yeah.
That Blab started this.
Yeah.
All right. It was the foundation that made all these companies go, I can do this, and broadcast it to Facebook.
Yeah.
Broadcast it to Twitch, broadcast it to, you know what I mean? You now are able to do that because Blab opened that door.
Yep.
All right. And other these companies are now able to do it, and they're monetizing it and making better. Blab was not monetized. It was just a free platform because it was a trial thing that they were like trying to figure out. So, I mean, I learned that. And when I was trying to create my event in 2018, I wanted to talk about blogging and make a blog con.
Right.
Blog cons have kind of like faded out in America because people aren't into just the written word, and blogging doesn't mean just write an article anymore. Yeah. Blogging now, all right, is a full-time job. All right. You got to put a post together. You got to research the post. Now you've got to put social media out. Now you got to research your SEO. Now you've got to put your pictures on Pinterest. Now you've got to put your video over on, there's so many things you've got to do to make a blog work nowadays that it is not just a blog.
Right.
It revolves around a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So my coach, Craig Duswalt, great mentor and smart person that he is, he says, Tim, everybody's doing vid summits. Vid summit. All right. My friends here in town, Scott and Jeremy, did do what's the name of their conference? Video Marketing World. All those type conferences are out there. Tamara, where you and I met, they're all doing video type conferences.
Yep.
He says, why don't you do a blog and video? Well, that's a good idea. So we created Blog and Video Con. It's for Blog and Video Conference. And we decided to call it Blog and Video Con after the Comic-Con idea, because what we're trying to transition it in to is to become an event where it becomes a like a Comic-Con type event where we not only come there to learn things, but we also come there to engage, all right, and be part of a community that builds community. So, you know what I mean? We created it in 2018 as a conference, and that was the next step. And even that, I mean, it didn't stop there. From then, it went on to, I'm sitting down with my mentor at a mastermind, and we come up with the first version of Simple Easy Marketing was Stupid Easy Marketing. And I bought all the domains to go with it, and found out another friend of mine now, he wasn't a friend when I created it, but a now friend, had the trademark on Stupid Easy. So I'm like, oh, well, I need to not do that because I don't want to trademark. Yeah, but then I went, maybe I need to get my own trademark. And I partnered with a trademark factory up in Canada, and their trademark, I got the trademark for Simple Easy Marketing.
Wow.
But it's a transition. It's a fluid process, guys. Most of you guys out there will not go through and be fluid with your business. So the second you hit one wall, you're going to stay at that wall forever because you're not willing to give it up. I am not cement in my business. The only thing I'm cement on is I really want to stay in Dallas.
Yeah.
All right. I speak all over the country. As a matter of fact, on Friday, I will be in Pasadena, California, speaking.
You're in California a lot.
I am. California is the highest place that I go to right now.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it was Arizona, and then it moved to California. I do speak a lot here in Dallas because I'm here in my hometown.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just have built a connection of people. My second biggest audience is California.
Right. Right.
So I go there a lot. I would love to go to, I think to Nashville. I would love to go to Nashville on a regular basis. I go to Nashville. I think I've spoken in Tennessee once in 10 years. I'd love to go to Nashville on a regular basis. I love Nashville. It's a cool town. You know what I mean?
Awesome town.
Yeah. I go to Phoenix on occasion. I used to go to Phoenix a lot more than I do now.
Yeah.
I used to go to Phoenix a lot. I've actually hosted my own events in Phoenix.
Wow.
And to Vegas. I wouldn't mind going to Vegas. Someplace I've never spoke. I've never spoke in the Northwest. I've never spoke up in Oregon or up in Washington.
Yeah.
Love to go there. I've spoke the Northeast.
Yeah.
In 2016, I spoke in the town I was born in, Scranton, Pennsylvania, for the first time.
Wow.
And my Aunt Jean, my dad's oldest sister, was in the audience, and my oldest cousin Cindy was in the audience when I spoke.
Wow.
And to me, and that video is actually on my YouTube channel of me speaking, because it was broadcast on a TV channel when I was speaking there.
Awesome.
I was in tears saying that my Aunt Jean's in the room. I said, because I told my dad and Zig Ziglar that I was going to be a speaker, that I was going to do this thing. I was going to write a book. All right. And I was going to, I told him back in the early 2000s, and my first book was not published until 2012 or 2013. It was actually when it actually came published, but 2012, Zig died. 2010, my dad died, and the book was not done. Speaking in that audience with my Aunt Jean in the audience was a tearjerker for me, because it's the closest my dad ever been to being in my event.
Right.
And I told my dad was my biggest encourager to do this. And I waited until after he was gone to do it. Wow. My mom, who lives real close to me now, she's at every one of my conferences. So if you come to Blog and VideoCon, my mom's there. You come to our Simple Easy Marketing Bootcamp, mom's there. All right. She comes, she interacts with all the people. All right. Enjoys it. She's more of a celebrity than me. And it's my event.
I heard this guy, and I'm not going to mention his name. I don't know if you saw me live last night talking about Grant Cardone's conference he just did. Phenomenal lineup of speakers. It was incredible. Very, very educational. But there was a guy that spoke that literally said, and it drove me crazy because I've been doing this 26 years, dude. I did my first website in 1994. So, but this guy said, you don't need a blog. You shouldn't be blogging anymore. People don't read blogs and all this stuff. And I was like, what is wrong with you? In fact, he said the next big thing is email marketing. I'm like, are you like, yes, everybody should be using their email list, of course. But what in the world would make you say, I mean, it was crazy. He said, you don't need social media. You don't need this. I'm like, dude, what is wrong with you? Why are you telling people? Because some people will believe him. And it's like, what in the world? So, here you are. And I literally just heard that on Saturday. And I'm telling you, it really ticked me off. And my wife was listening to this too, going, what? Like, so talk a little bit about that. How important is it when it comes to, look, it's a noisy world out there, right? How important is blogging? How important is getting your written word out?
Well, I'm not gonna center it down to blogging, because my conference is no longer about just blogging. It's about content creation. All right. And number one, anytime you stand up and go, this is no longer relevant, stop doing this. That's the number one sign. All right. That you just set yourself out to be a target.
Yes.
I am never going to tell you not to do. Here's what and mine started 2010. There was a dozen people who told me I didn't need a website. I didn't need a blog. All I needed was social media. That was in 2010.
Right.
That's all you need is social media. I can tell you a dozen of those people who have jobs now. They don't have a business of their own anymore. They have jobs. Right. All right.
Yep.
Number one thing I wanted in my life, and it's why my brand is fluid, is I will work 80 hours a week to avoid getting a 40-hour-a-week job. I am a capitalist. I am an entrepreneur. Or I am somebody who's working, all right, for money. Yep. I'm not gonna apologize for that. Yes, I'm on this broadcast so that I can make money. It's a business. Yep. I'm not in this for the health of it. I'm in this to make money.
Right.
All right.
Right.
To make money, you've got to create value. Yep. To show people that you have value, you have to create content. Now, I have a blog. I have a vlog. I have a podcast. I have several podcasts. I do videos every day. I do writings every day. I'm writing this up here. I'm writing a new book. I host events. To me, this idea that you only need, when someone says you only need, all right, it's going to work for a little while. I have
Yeah.
in my industry, all right, of what I do, I have watched a few people who became really big at one perspective of the business who had conferences like mine, got really big. And I noticed those conferences that got really big, all right, because they were going one direct area. That one direct area they went, all right, it's starting to die out. And the people had to sell out their conferences and bring on other investors to keep their heads above water.
Right.
Number one, I'm going to tell you about content creation, blogs, vlogs, social media, everything. I personally believe try everything to find out what works for you.
Yep.
Try it all.
I agree.
Try a video show like this. Try a podcast. All right. Try a you know what I mean. Try a blog. Try Pinterest. Try what Instagram, Snapchat, whatever it is.
Dude, he said that too. The dude said that don't try to start a podcast. You don't need a podcast. I was like, what is wrong with you?
Right
huh?
Podcast, the hottest thing right now.
You and I heard Randy Zuckerberg say it. You were there for her speech.
Yeah.
She said, what are the two top things she said that any entrepreneur right now could be doing? Number one is learning the voice stuff for the Amazon and the Google devices, the Google Home and the Amazon. I can't say her name or she'll start talking.
Mine's way off in the other room. I don't have it here anymore.
Yeah. Oh, so she said, number one, do that where you're doing like a flash briefing. Gary Vaynerchuk talks about that as well. And then the other thing Randy said is live videos. She said, I might be a little biased and she invented Facebook Live, but she said that live video and podcasting.
Yeah.
Like, and then, so I think that, dude, you're on the right track. What you're doing. I love what you're doing, man. That's freaking awesome. I got to come down now. I got to come to your next. When's your next event?
May 7th, 8th, 9th. We do one in Dallas, Texas. We do we do a conference in May and a conference in November. May's is the Blog and Video Con. And in November's it's going to be new this year. It's called Simple Easy Marketing Bootcamp. So we do some of the offline stuff at the Simple Easy Marketing Bootcamp, but the online one, this in its current format, Blog and Video Con in May is the last time it's going to be done in this current format. What we do is going forward, starting in 2021, we're going to bring back people who've actually come to the conference. All right. And we bring in a lot of TED Talk type speakers to talk about something they learned and then they put into effect and how to do it. So basically, once you attend, you can apply to come back as a speaker.
Got it.
Yeah, it's because we want you to teach what you learned and are making work, because the industry is always changing, always evolving. So we want people who are trying that one little aspect over here, that one little aspect over here. But the catch we had to learn to do is the world is full of speakers, and I'm in the speaking industry, and I host a monthly event and I host 2 large events a year, and I get about 5,000 speaker requests a year.
Wow.
They all want to speak at my event, and I go, I'm sorry, this is the way we had to do it.
Yeah.
Currently, all right, and we still have 3 guest spots available for our speaking slots in May, but you have to either host an event, all right, to swap stages, or you have to pay to be on a stage, which is like, you had Eric Swanson on. Similar model that Eric does is I put on an event so that I can get speaking engagements.
Right.
Tamara was one of those strange ones that she found me and just out of the book, hey, we want you to speak. And it was 2 weeks before my last event, and I hardly ever take on a new event that quick.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. All right. And I really didn't go there prepared. I really didn't, but I went there and I'm like, I'm just going to go build relationships.
Yeah.
And I did something at Tamara's that I do at a lot of events. If I can work the whole event, I will come to the event, give me a table to set up. And I set a table up with a form and I say, fill this form out. And on the last day of the event, I go on the stage of the event and I pull a name out of the hat and give an iPad away.
Oh, that's right.
I
remember that. Now.
You have to have a certain amount of number of people at the event for me to do that.
Yeah.
All right. And if I'm list building, I'm telling you the truth. All right. I don't lie about what I do. Everything I do is so obvious that it's simple, easy.
And dude, I haven't gotten any email. I'm on your list. I've registered for that iPad. And for the record, I didn't win the iPad, y'all, just so you know.
But we give away one. We give away an iPad and usually a camera. All right. At Blog and Video Con.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm just
Oh,
saying,
okay.
if you haven't won, if you get a ticket to Blog and VideoCon, you might win another one.
I think I don't think I can be there in May, dude. I'm speaking at I'm speaking at an event. It's crazy how I'm all of a sudden being asked to go speak at these events.
Yeah.
So, but I want to be there. If I can't make it then, maybe November, but we'll see. I think it's phenomenal. So with all of this stuff, and I think that a good business point here is things have evolved for you.
Yeah.
And you just, and it sounds like you just didn't give up. You just kept going, you know what, we're going to take this and let it kind of morph into this. And then it became this, and wow, look at this. I'm doing blogs and had 77,000 people show up in one day to read my blog. And so I must be on to something. And now I can teach this because I'm an expert.
Yeah, people call me an expert. I don't call myself an expert. I'm not one of those self-proclaimed type guys.
Gotcha.
I'm humble.
I love it.
I
mean, hey, if you are.
Yeah, I don't like that beat on chest. Look at me, I'm not a marketer like that. I know you have to do some of that to market yourself.
Yeah.
And we cover that, but I am not one of those people. The word expert, used to make me cringe. It doesn't quite as much anymore. If someone else calls it, but you shouldn't be telling everybody I'm the expert in blah, blah, blah. Let Ken label you as the expert. And that's a marketing lesson. The more other people market me as something, the better I look.
Right.
If you're trying to market your business and you know what I mean? I get the Muhammad Ali that everybody's taught for the past 20 years. All right. But that beat on chest thing, so many people are getting sick of it to the point we hate the politicians who do it.
Yeah.
But we don't look at our own life and realize the politician learned it from us. We're doing it too.
I agree, but it's just like I've built over 1,000 WordPress sites. I am definitely a WordPress expert, and I'm not saying that to be proud. I have the experience to back it up. Right now, if you've built one WordPress site, or you've built a couple of websites, or I used to own a detail shop in Atlanta, Georgia, because I buffed cars at the Honda factory for 3 years, and I was really, really good at it. Right. So if you've washed one car, you're not a detail expert. Right. If you've watched 1,000 of them and ran a high-speed buffer and wet sanded a new paint job and buffed it out, and then you could be approaching the expert. But I agree with you. It is good if people are saying that. But dude, the only reason people are going to say that is because you have the experience to back it up. That's it, right? You got
to go out and do, man.
Yeah, you do. And I think you should own it. You're an expert, bro.
I am.
I'm going to call him an expert from here on out. The rest of the interview, my guest expert, Tim Gillette. So dude, so you've got a lot of stuff popping down in Dallas and all over the place. Like you're literally like you're shaking and moving. I love that, man. So what's next for you? What do you have? I know that we talked about you have some special stuff that you'd like to offer the audience. Throw it out there, man. What do you have to offer?
So, I because I really wasn't prepared to do this morning. Actually, Ken and I talked about this on Friday doing this, and I'm like, let me go find a date that fits with me. And it's okay. I'm going to do Monday.
And it worked.
But I didn't prep a lot. So this is going to work, and is going to work within an hour. I promise you. All right. Is I'm just going to make this because I like doing simple, easy. And I own a lot of simple, easy domain names. So I'm going to say, all right, within an hour, you're going to be able to go to simpleeasy2020.com and you're going to get this offer. Simpleeasy2020.com.
So it's simpleeasy2020.com, and that's simpleeasy2020.com.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna put that up on the scroll it across the bottom.
I will actually have that. I will actually have my guy have that pointed to this page where this is going to be offered within the hour.
Dude, we have a really good celebrity friend of mine that just liked the video. She might be on Carrie Kasem. I don't know if you know who Carrie.
I know Carrie's name, but I've never met her. Yeah.
Her dad obviously
was Casey
Kasem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've connected with her, but she wouldn't remember me. I mean, it wasn't a meaningful connection. I ran into her at an event one time. So
yeah, I love Carrie.
I think it was some 56s. I don't remember whose I was at.
She's a trip, man. I picked her up at the airport one time in my car and apologized for my car, and she's like, what are you talking about? It was just funny. But anyway, so like what's the offer you're going to make?
I'm going to give you over there. All right. And I still think it's up. I'm going to go make sure it's there. So anyway, it's
yeah, we did just talk about this literally before we started, and you're like, dude, yeah, I'll throw some. I said, if you have something you want to offer, throw it out there, man. And you said, yeah, I'll throw it out there. I don't have a page ready for it, but I'll throw something out there. So
basically, I mean, it's going to be a ticket to my event. All right. In May. All right. It's got to be you can forward this ticket for a fee. All right. It's because it costs money to book out. All right. It's a VIP plus ticket to the event, which you get Thursday night. We have this celebration kind of dinner thing where you get to hang out with the crew and have something to eat. And then we kick off the weekend Thursday night.
Yeah.
Friday. All right. All day Friday, all day Saturday. We actually have here our featured speakers this time. Our keynotes are actress Sandra D. Robinson. And the other one is going to be a guy here in Dallas, Bill Wallace. Bill Wallace has like the longest running networking event in Dallas. Okay. He's done it at 7 a.m. for 31 years. And literally, literally you go there and it's like standing room only in this place of 400 and some people is all the chairs they can fit. And you go there and there's people are standing around the walls.
Wow.
To get to this event once a month. It's just huge. He's our other featured speaker. We still have our guest speakers aren't announced yet. But you're going to get a VIP plus ticket to this event. What that means is VIP plus. So our speakers are going to actually do a Q&A session with you that you can actually sit and talk with them. And then we're actually going to give get photos with them, things like that. Your meals are included. So you get your lunches on Friday and Saturday included with this ticket.
Wow.
Yeah. This is why I'm putting this together this way. My book, I'm finishing up right now, called Simple Easy Marketing, is going to be there. You get a copy of it at the event.
Sweet.
At the event, it's going to go live for the new Simple Easy online course. The online course is basically helping you go, oh, crap, I need to take this detailed crap out of my life and just make it simple, easy, steps, get it done. And that's what the course is, because it's part of the book and part of the whole program. I actually am going to throw in there two things that I've been doing for years. Content creation is what I do. I have two things that I'm going to give you. Number one is a 21-day live streaming challenge. 21 days of topics. You do this for live stream for 21 days straight. You're going to find out what your audience wants from you. It's a PDF. You just you get sent out to you. You just read day number one, go do a blog, put it in your title, and do a broadcast. And I'm telling you, within 21 days, you will learn what your audience wants to hear from you by following this. Second thing, 30-day blogging challenge. Same concept as the live streaming, but it's 30 days of blogging. It's asking you, just like Ken did, ask about me. It's telling people about you, your business, your life, all right, your story, your hobbies. And it actually puts all three of them together, that if you actually follow it and watch your numbers after 30 days, you will see what your audience wants to hear from you. Again, I learned how my audience wanted to hear from music because I actually learned to watch my numbers to see what they wanted to hear, as opposed to creating SEO, what I think was great. No, I built the audience, and then I let the audience tell me what they wanted, and I went back and created it. All right.
Awesome, dude.
I'm going to give you those out there, and I don't know. There may be a couple other bonuses thrown in with it. Other than that,
okay.
There is one other thing you'll get when you come to Blog and Video Con. You will get a copy of this book.
Love
How to Become a Blogging Expert, written by a 10-year-old.
Wow.
All right. I'm going to tell you the name of the book, and because I can do this, all right, its name was Tyler Duswalt. Tyler is not that 10-year-old little boy anymore.
Wow.
He is a college student going to college to do film working right now. And a couple years ago, he didn't like the picture anymore. So he said, you know what? I'm selling out all my books.
That's awesome.
So I bought his entire inventory, and the only way you can get a copy of it is if you come to my event, because you will get a copy of it when you come to my event.
Dude, that's awesome.
That's why I show everybody's like, let me see that book. So I go,
wow.
And they're like, oh man, they go, the only other place you can get this book is a digital copy from his dad.
Wow.
I have all the physical copies left for sale.
That's awesome.
All right.
That's awesome.
And I don't sell them. You only get them if you become clients of mine. It's for my client.
So what's that whole package gonna be? What's the deal?
So normally I would sell that I'm gonna offer something very similar to that at the events I'm speaking at this week for $9.97.
Okay.
What I'm going to do for your people here, all right, because it's on there, it's through the website, all right. I don't have to travel to go do it, so I don't have to pay to travel, stay in a hotel. So what I'll do is I'll do it for $197.
$197?
$197.
And that includes all the dinners and stuff?
Yep. It's lunches, not dinners.
Or lunches. Wow. Yeah. That's incredible, dude. $197. That's a deal right there. That's a bargain.
Yep. So
wow.
And it'll be awesome. Easy 2020. All right. It will be up here. Give me, I should have it up now. It's a bad thing when you actually go to market something and don't have it up. But I will.
We talked about this literally 60 seconds before we went live. So, And
I literally, here's how good. Like Ken tells you he's good with the WordPress. I know on WordPress, I know a couple things. Number one, I know my shopping cart.
Yeah.
All right. I know Optimize Press on WordPress. Yeah. I can go create a sales page with a video in 15 minutes and have it pointing somewhere.
Sweet.
I know how to make my shopping cart work. As a matter of fact, on Blab, we were doing this thing on Blab where this guy, Bobby, that I know we were trying to do a joke thing, and Bobby comes on and he makes this offer. So I basically put this thing up as a joke, Bobby's offer, put it in the chat with a link. I said, Bobby, an offer like this, and somebody actually went and paid me the money. I had to give them their money back. Oh, no, it was a joke.
Oh, my God.
I created it on the shopping cart in 15 minutes.
Wow. Yeah.
So dude, I already have that package on the shopping cart. I just have to I have to go over to that domain and forward it to the sales page. That's what I've got to do. So it'll go there in about 15 minutes.
So real quick, because we're over an hour now, I like to keep it at an hour, but real quick, let me ask you this. What do you think the number one thing is that holds people back from success in life? What's the number one thing?
I'm going to say themselves.
Okay.
And I know we're over time here, and I hate to go over time on things.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
On things, but here's what I did. This morning, I'm leaving my coffee shop to come back home. And literally, I'm looking at this lady who's got all these bumper stickers on the back of her car about how the world needs to improve, how we need to do blah, blah, blah. And I'm not picking on the political things, and I'm not going to tell you what they were. But all these things about improving the world. And while she is doing this, she pulls out to the edge of the parking lot and stops. No traffic pulling by. And starts doing this on her phone.
Yeah.
Blocking traffic.
Wow.
You can't get out of the Starbucks because she decided to stop at the exit and block you so you can't get out to take a text.
Yeah.
Guys, that's what so many of you are doing with your life. Not only are you blocking your success, but you got everybody around you going, well, I don't want to do business with you because you're doing nothing but blocking people's success.
Amen.
You've got to stop doing that. And it's a pet peeve of mine, texting and driving. It is.
Yeah.
But when I see people do it and they block the rest of the world, they're blocking their own success.
Yep.
Your car says all over the back of it, I want to have a better world.
Yeah.
Start with you.
Right.
Fix you and get going, man. All right.
Amen,
I'm not
dude.
perfect. Trust me. You can find a lot of mistakes about me. All right. But one thing I want to do is I never want to block someone's success. And if it comes to anything stumbling that I want to learn it and figure it out.
Yep.
My video that's put up on my series today, I actually picked up and talked about my guitar when I was recording it. I don't play guitar. I struggle to figure out how to play an instrument. I can't. My head just doesn't get it.
Yeah.
All right. I am my biggest block on this, and I don't know why. But I talk about that very concept of how I'm getting past it. Why? Because when I want to learn something and I want to learn it bad enough, I will buy every book onto it. I will read every website onto it. I will listen to every podcast onto it, watch every video onto it. All right. Go to every event onto it because I want to learn it.
Yeah.
I learned marketing without going to college. And I learned marketing basically because I was like, okay, I've got product. I need to sell it. I need money in the bank. What do I do?
Dude, You can learn guitar. I've played guitar since I was 7, and I play by ear. Just learn the basics: G, C, D, and E minor, and you can play everything.
Everything you just said to me is Greek to me.
I know. Just learn G, C, D, and E minor.
How to make money with a blog like that? Figure
I
that
know. Out. I love it, dude. Hey, listen. Expert Tim Gillette, ladies and gentlemen, has been with us.
And just in case you want to really find out who I am, go to nottompetty.com.
Nottompetty.com. I love that, man.
That is my business card, nottompetty.com.
I love it. That's awesome. Go check this dude out. Follow him. Where's the best place to follow you, Tim?
I do a broadcast on Facebook Live every day on my business page, Facebook Live, facebook.com/Tim Gillette Rocks.
Tim Gillette Rocks. Go follow Tim on Facebook and go to simpleeasy2020.com in about an hour-ish and take advantage of the unbelievable opportunity to be at his conference for $197. That's crazy.
I've got entertainment coming. I have the #1 tribute guitarist in the city of Dallas is playing, and he's bringing some musicians along to play with me on Thursday night. Gonna want to be there for that. Anyway,
Samuel J. Sneed said you need some mirror shades.
It's funny because this is my reading glasses. I usually do interviews without them, but I was trying to do something on the computer, so I put them on.
Yeah, I love it, man.
I don't wear shades. I teach people that, by the way.
Yeah,
is your marketing. You've got to, I trust me. My marketing in the early days had my sunglasses on. I took the sunglasses off. All right, my open rates increased by 175%.
Yeah.
See these two things here? Make them visible.
Windows to your soul, man.
People can see the eyes they trust.
Yeah.
Trust the eyes. That's a marketing tip that I only teach at my event. So
that's awesome. Dude, thank you. I appreciate you being on. Thank you for your time. You've been generous. Thank you so much. Tim Gillette, everybody, go follow him. And thank you to everyone who watched and shared this out. Sharing is the coolest thing you can do. I really appreciate it. So thank you, Tim. I appreciate you, and we'll see you soon.
All right, man. Bye.
All righty. Bye-bye. Don't hang up on me.